a little bit to the stuff that we did during year 2, and this was the main project we did in year 2 was a study to try to look at integration of barcode scanning at the vaccine inventory step. So the objective here was to test the feasibility, efficiency, accuracy, and acceptability of using barcode scanning for vaccine inventory recording in mass immunization clinics run by public health. And so we did actually it's 2 sub-studies where, like, first we had like a primary randomized study where we looked at public health units in Ontario that use Niagara's electronic data collection system. It's called PECS. And we randomized them to either using the barcode scanning or drop-down menus. And I'm going to go into this in the next few slides for recording their vaccine inventory. And then in a secondary observational study that we did in parallel was we examined some public health units that just use paper forms. And so the outcomes that we used here were the time that are spent for recording the inventory, the barcode readability, the accuracy of the records, and then perceptions of the users. Oops. And this is a collaboration by quite a number of bodies. So there's PCIRN, we provided the research support and expertise. The Niagara region provided the software application known as PECS. That was what was used in these clinics. Public Health Agency of Canada developed the VIDS database, so that's the Vaccine Inventory Database System. And then the industry did the work with putting the 2D barcodes onto the vaccine vials. And so altogether, they formed this AIVP working group that stands for the Automated Identification of Vaccine Products Working Group. So they've been working on this, and so altogether, that's how this project came about. So I'm just going to briefly describe the inventory processes. There's 3 main processes. So one is the barcode scanning. So what that involved was, like, for each vial, they had to open the package, take out the vial, scan the vial, and then put it back into the box. And when you scan the vial, what that does is it links to the VIDS database and it downloads the information about that vaccine into the PECS system. And then when you're done scanning your vials, you can either do that with each vial, or at the end of a batch, you can hit the submit button. And that puts in the inventory for that clinic. And the second process is the drop-down menu process. Is you're just using the electronic system, and what you do is you take all the vials and you sort them by the vaccine name or lot number, and you count them, and then you just pick it from a pre-entered list, and you just type in the quantity. So then you hit submit after that. And in the paper-based method, what you do is you take the vials again, you count out the appropriate quantity of vials, and you should record it on a piece of paper, the vaccine name, lot number, expiry date, and quantity on a form. And so this just shows the flow of the clinic. So we start off with 36 public health units in Ontario, and we had 19 that were going to be using PECS last year, one that was using an alternative system that we didn't want to incorporate into this. And then there's the 16 that were using a paper-based approach. And so in the randomized study, we took the 18, well, one just declined to participate. We had 18 left over, and we randomized them 9 to each of these barcode scanning and 9 to the drop-down menus. And 2 withdrew after randomization, but fortunately there's 1 in each arm. And then we did a proportionate sampling of 2 to 5 clinics per health unit. So we had 8 health units where we collected data from the barcode scanning, and 8 units where we collected data for the drop-down menus. And then we picked 5 health units. It was a convenient sample of 5 out of these 16, and we collected data based on paper. And so this is just showing here the 2D barcode that was put onto the label of the vial. And then this is the barcode scanner that was used, and so you just scan it just like what you do at the supermarket. Okay. So these were the clinics that we went to, 20 for the barcode scanning, 20 clinics for the drop-down menu, and then 21 for the paper form. And you can see the times that were spent for, this is the mean time per vial. So you can see that the drop-down menu is the fastest at only half a second on average out of this number of vials. And for the paper form is 1.7 seconds, which is significantly longer. And the barcode scanning, to our surprise, actually took much longer. So if you included the entire process of like taking it out of the vial and then putting it all back in, it took quite a lot of time. But if you just recorded the scanning process only, because the taking it out and putting back in wasn't done for the others, so it was kind of like they were kind of handicapped that way. So it was still longer though at 4.3 seconds per vial. There was good readability, so on average it was about 1.3 scans per vial to get the information, and it seemed to improve with staff experience. So there seemed to be a learning curve involved with using this sort of technology. The errors rates were very low for all the methods used, so there's no errors in the drop-down menus and only 6 errors in the paper arm and 5 errors in the barcode scanning arm. So for the user perceptions, we found that this is the barcoding, the drop-down menu, and this is the paper. It's a relatively small number of users because it's only at the vaccine inventory level. It wasn't at the vaccinator level, so there weren't that many participants involved. And so in general, the barcode scanning was a little bit lower than the drop-down menu for things like being able to complete the task quickly, being able to recover if they make a mistake, and also satisfaction. So it seemed to be lower for the barcoding. But on the other hand, barcode scanning users agreed that barcode scanning improved client safety, nurse documentation, and the accuracy of the clinic inventory records. And of the barcode scanning users, about 26% said that they would prefer to use other methods if it was just based on time alone. So in conclusion, from the barcode scanning, we demonstrated feasibility of barcode scanning technology at the level of the inventory recording in mass clinics. We found that the 2D barcodes were generally quite readable. One thing, though, was that the change in the process associated with barcode scanning definitely increased the time for inventory recording. And so we could reduce this either by changing the process or also increasing user experience. And the next point is that the acceptance was generally reasonable, considering this was like a novel technology. People are generally nervous about doing that, but it seemed to be pretty acceptable. And there seemed to be, I didn't show this, but there seemed to be increased evidence of increased satisfaction with user experience. So the last point is that the benefits of barcode scanning may be more evident in settings where multiple vaccines and lot numbers are used. So, in these mass immunization clinics for influenza, there's only, one product and generally one barcode, one lot number, or maybe just a very limited number of lot numbers, versus if you go into a physician office where there's many different vaccines with many different barcodes where there's a chance for making errors, then the accuracy of the barcode scanning would be realized in that setting. So I'm happy to answer any questions. This is a summary of the year 1 and 2 projects that we've been working on, and tomorrow you'll be hearing about what we've got planned for year 3.